I don't know how they will use him. But I know God will use him in a very
Absolutely.
special way.
Absolutely.
Yes.
For sure. Well, it's 9 minutes till. This is getting fun.
Almost here.
The one on the side. I've already tried that one. Okay, no problem.
Did you get enough pictures that I can
Yeah,
blur your tongue?
if you can take pictures of the once it gets started, or well, you'll just be using that for a backup for you to talk to Scott.
Make sure that it's going and all.
Oh, be sure it's not in Bluetooth.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2 1 1 1 1 1.
See if this works. Hello, Ryan. How are you? 1 2 3 test. Test 1 2 3. Hello, Ryan. Hello, hello, hello.
See if this works.
Hello,
Ryan.
what is the temperature?
45.
I wish
This side stays. Charge all surface specimen. He is right here. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I'm like, this is but down the next one, I'm passing the buck to you. Oh, it's sweeter.
Did you want to use my chair? I'm obviously not using it.
No, that's fine. I'm going to do the regular.
Okay. Hey there, it's 5 minutes till. I'd like the veterans to come on and sit in the chairs. Bring your special person with you. Kind of got a +1, you just bring them along. Sit on the front row. If you're a veteran, feel free to come and sit in the chair. Coming up to hand you something. That is our homeschool group who have made you special gifts as a veteran. In fact, you may want to raise your hand if you haven't seen a child to give you a gift. Raise your hand, maybe they can find you easier. Thank you. Thank you so much. At the very back to my right, there is a DAR group and a table that is set up with goodie bags to give to each veteran. And there's a lot left up back there. The next table over is an MTSU student who is there to help anybody who has not registered to vote.
The two of us that are hearing read, we're cousins. But Mayor first. In case you don't need to mention it, you can't do it. The two of us that are hearing the read are also with the SIR. Say that again. He's retired.
Yes. Thank you.
Sorry.
No, I appreciate it. Who jumps in then?
Okay, everybody.
No, I'm
You're
sorry.
the Navy submarine, aren't you? Okay. And
His name is Kevin. Oatley. O-A-T. O-A-T.
all right.
Yes. When it starts. You're good for it.
So, do you all want to come up when it's time? Because you will be after the speaker. Okay. And do you have your pickups already? I believe. Okay. So you don't.
Pick it up on my way up.
Okay. So y'all can sit in the audience until was laid down for peace during the World War I. War II. I said that wrong. It was one. Was one. Now I'm getting old. Y'all choose which one you want to. Hello, everybody. I've got lots of chairs up in the front. Feel free to come to the front and enjoy sitting close so you can see everything. Miss Zoe, you can have a front row seat. Mr. Joey, you get a front row seat. Oh, my. Okay. I told Brother Dave he could come and sit on the front row, and he hadn't done that yet. Nobody wants to sit in the chairs. Okay. I am going to introduce to you the MC. That's Master of Ceremonies. And this guy behind me, some people will recognize him immediately, but other folks may not have met Carlos Rawls. So I had to, he must be humble enough. He never could share with me all his stuff, so I had to go look for it online. But, I'm pretty good at doing online stuff. So I found out that he grew up in Alabama is where he started, grew up in Ohio, and then enlisted in the Air Force in 1997, and then went to Texas by way of the Lackland Air Force Base. I have a sister that was born there. And Carlos was assigned and became an Air Force firefighter. He was assigned to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio, and then Osan Air Base in Korea as a firefighter. Once his Korean tour was completed, he became part of the Tactical Air Control Party and was assigned to the 15th Air Support for operations at Fort Stewart, Georgia. He ended up deploying to Iraq 2 times in 2003 for the invasion, 2006, Ramadi, and Afghanistan in 2008. Then, due to an injury, he was medically retired in 2010. So now he is in Murfreesboro or Smyrna. He lives in Smyrna, and he is coaching the Middle Tennessee Christian School football, and he is well known among folks in the American Legion and the VFW, where he serves as the Mr. Carlos Rawls.
That was Barb Smith-Pitto, who is the event director.
Hi, good morning. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for coming. Some I will be heckled all day, so don't mind those dudes over there. Thank y'all for coming. It's cold, so I'm gonna try to speed this along as fast as I can. We'd like to thank our mayor for inviting us to this beautiful, historic Rutherford County courthouse. And we also would like to recognize our community leadership who have joined us today to honor our veterans by their presence. These serve our state and communities in various positions of leadership. So if you are part of the leadership, Murfreesboro City Council, can you please stand or wave so we can recognize you for this day? All right. And again, I would like to thank the Murfreesboro City Council members and other elected officials present. All right. I would like to welcome all of our veterans, their families, and all our guests to the 29th annual Murfreesboro Veterans Day service. All right, so now let us begin our service. So if I can I get Tennessee 1 Rolling Thunder color guard to present the colors?
Rolling Thunder, number 1, Tennessee number 1 is presenting the colors right now. After that, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance from the Trail Life USA Troop, the Oakland's Homeschool Group, and the national anthem will be played by a trumpeter Lauren Spencer. She has played the trumpet for the past several Veterans Day tributes. It's interesting that she and her son both played trumpets, dueling trumpets, but now her son is at the Air Force Academy, so she's doing it alone. This is Lauren Spencer. She will lead us in the national anthem. It's 43 degrees
All right, so
right
now
now.
we're going to have the Oakland Homeschool and the Trial of Life USA Murfreesboro Troop 122 to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
Now the homeschoolers, with our Pledge of Allegiance, they're stepping forward at this time. Quite a few of them, and they're coming up right in front of the historic courthouse.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, would you please remain standing as the trumpet lead us in the singing of our national anthem?
And we pray, and we pray. Amen.
Barb Pitto, the director of the program, offering our invocation this morning.
Thank you for that. All right, you may be seated. Thank you.
Just a few moments, the POW-MIA resolution. That'll be next on our program.
The flags before
Hopefully,
you today are a symbol of some of the many organizations that recognize the sacrifice of our veterans over the years who have given so much for our nation. The American Legion, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the Vietnam 50th Anniversary Commemoration, the POW-MIA flag, the National Society of the Sons of the American Revolution, and the Daughters of the American Revolution. We also have the U.S. service flags, Army, Marine, Navy, the world's greatest Air Force, Space Force, and the Coast Guard. And to present the POW-MIA resolution and drape, I would like to introduce Robert Masek to read the resolution and Stephen Parker to place the drape.
we're going to hear now from
Today, we gather here to pay
Masek.
tribute to the brave men and women who have endured the hardships of being prisoners of war or are still missing in action, and to stand in solidarity with their families who have carried the weight of uncertainty for so long. The POW-MIA empty chair, symbolizing the absence of those who have not returned, is a powerful representation of the commitment we must uphold to ensure that the plight of these heroes is never forgotten. Resolution 288, adopted at the 67th American Legion National Convention, underscores the importance of having this symbolic chair at all official meetings, urging us to actively pursue the release of any American prisoners, the repatriation of the remains of the fallen, and the full accounting of those still missing. Today, we are honored to have retired United States Air Force veteran Stephen Parker place the POW-MIA flag on the empty chair. This act serves as a poignant reminder for all of us to spare no effort in our collective mission to bring our missing heroes home. It is crucial that we acknowledge the more than 180 individuals identified since the last Veterans Day and the staggering number of approximately 81,000 still unaccounted for. As we leave here today, let us rededicate ourselves to this vital endeavor. Let us renew our commitment to ensuring that the promise of "you are not forgotten" is fulfilled for every missing American, and that their families find the closure and the solace they deserve. Thank you.
That's Robert Basic, U.S. Air Force retired. Assisting is Richard Mick, U.S. Army and U.S. Air Force retired.
All right, now we will have members of the Colonel Hardy, Murfreesboro, Daughters of American Revolution chapter will provide an original presentation written just for today.
A group of people now from the Colonel Hardy Murfree chapter of the DAR are stepping forward. They're going to be making a special presentation here. They have a beautiful floral arrangement as well. If you just tuned in, this is the 39th time that Murfreesboro has had its Veterans Day tribute on the Murfreesboro Square. Sunny day today, 43 degrees right now. And you're hearing it live on WGNS. We've broadcast proudly all of these since the very first. Back when Elsie Stim took up the gauntlet and moved forward for 15 years. Elsie has since passed away, but she did so much to make this possible. Myra Simons came along after her.
Thank you for being here today. As members of the sons and daughters of the American Revolution, we are honored to speak to such a prestigious group of people, veterans of the United States of America. The American Revolution is not a faded past memory of a war long forgotten. It is a living, breathing part of our ancestors' lives. Men and women who gave much to ensure that democracy and freedom would prevail over tyranny. It is shopkeepers, farmers, bakers, mothers, and daughters who laid aside their daily lives to provide that our small, forming nation was worth something. It was worth the liberty of the people. When we look out at the audience today, we see the faces of patriots etched across the war-weary faces of your own. Veterans who were willing to take up the cause against those that wished them to harm the dignity, democracy, and freedom of a country we hold so dear. The DAR and SAR were organized to perpetuate the memories of our ancestors and the contributions they made. We do this through historical preservation, education, and patriotism. Programs of service are how we show gratitude to our veterans here locally. It is hoped that through these missions and programs, our children will not forget what it cost to create our free nation, but also to keep it. Through sacrifices made in the 1700s and your own recent sacrifices, we must never forget. As we look into your faces and see the spirit of freedom and know the patriotism you exhibited, we want to say once again, thank you. Thank you for your service. God bless you, and God bless the USA. Please go back with us for a moment to the early days of Murfreesboro and learn about 4 patriots who fought in the American Revolution. They too fought for our country and everything it stands for 250 years ago.
Well, I have just been to that bakery of Peter Jennings on the square Vine Church Streets. It smells wonderful in there. You know, he fought with General Washington in the Revolutionary War at the battles of Trenton, Princeton, Brandywine, and Yorktown. He has a direct fire wound in his right knee. I know he moved here from Providence, Rhode Island, and he served in the 5th Regiment of the Artillery of Blacks in the Continental Line. I am so proud that he chose Murfreesboro as his home. He is a brave man. Boy, I'm glad he's here.
There are other men who fought in the Revolutionary War right here in Murfreesboro too. Did you know that Rutherford County is named after General Griffith Rutherford? Rutherford was a North Carolina colonel, a colonial legislator, and American general who lived in Sumner County. Rutherford County was formed in 1803 from parts of Davidson, Williamson, and Wilson counties in honor of Griffith Rutherford. His friend John Sevier, Tennessee's first governor, influenced the decision to name our county after Rutherford. You know, I don't think Rutherford ever stepped a foot in Rutherford County.
I know the Lytle family is pretty important around here, as well as that Lytle Cemetery. That's where Captain William Lytle is buried. He fought in the battles of Brandywine and Germantown. After the war, he and his family were the first settlers in Murfreesboro area. When an Indian attack forced them to move back to Davidson County for 2 years, they returned for the second successful attempt for settlement. With enough of new settlers, Lytle donated 60 acres of land to establish Murfreesboro as the county seat. I'm glad he did that.
And speaking of Murfreesboro, did you know how our town got its name? It was named after Lieutenant Colonel Hardy Murphy, who served in the Continental Army. He was one of 10 men chosen by General George Washington to lead the Battle of Stony Point. It was a key victory that helped turn the tide against the British. He fought in battles at Brandywine, Germantown, and Monmouth. I think all these Revolutionary War soldiers are pretty amazing and have done so much for Rutherford County.
Yes, indeed. Their courage and sacrifice helped build not just this community, but the whole nation. We should always remember them and all those who helped in the cause of the United States of America.
Amen.
That was the Colonel Hardy Murphy chapter of the DAR.
3 tears of the sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring.
You're listening to the 39th Annual Veterans Day Tribute, live from the historic Rutherford County Courthouse.
Thank you to the DAR. Get all this back up.
Now we're going back up to the courthouse steps. We that last broadcast with the DAR was right there on the brickwork where the audience is. Let's go back
All
to
right.
our MC.
Can we now get the Oakland's homeschool group? Can y'all please come back up and sing the patriotic songs you guys prepared for us?
This is Carlos Rawls, Air Force retired, serving as the master of ceremony this morning. He's stepping forward once again, getting everything back in order. They had to move the microphones out, and I think they're having some challenges right now with that, but I think they'll get all that fixed. We're broadcasting live today on WGNS, and so they're trying to get that corrected. So I guess that's what happens when you move things around too much. It's a nippy morning, 43 degrees, the sun is shining, and a good turnout of heavily dressed people here with us today. They're all here. I think they're having to do some extra things there to make it work out here. If you're still in the area, come on up to the square. These are some children's patriotic songs from the Oakland's homeschool. It's about 12 youngsters doing a great job here on our Veterans Day tribute, the Oakland's homeschool group. A great group of patriotic songs. That's offered by the Oakland's homeschool group.
Thank you, guys.
They did a great job, too.
At this time, we want to recognize all our veterans in attendance today. Would you please stand if you're able to, or raise your hand where you are sitting so we may express our gratitude. All right, you young men can sit down.
They're acknowledging the veterans now. They all stood.
We have a high regard for all military family members as well. So thank you for your individual sacrifice and for being here today also. All right. The man of the hour. Our keynote speaker today is David Weil. Born on Pearl Harbor Day, Mr. Weil moved from Connecticut to Tennessee in the 5th grade. He earned the rank of Eagle Scout, and in his senior year of high school, an Army recruiter encouraged him to sign up for his local Army Reserve unit. His basic training was in Fort Bliss, Texas, that December after graduation. But here's the crazy part. Not only did he sign up, he talked his mom into signing up. A nurse, she was a nurse, into signing up too. That was in 1988. It was in 1990 when their reserve unit was activated. While his mom served as a nurse, Dave, MOS, was 91 Mike, a hospital food service specialist. In 1991, they served together in the 912th MASH unit in the deserts of Kuwait, Iraq, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia during Operation Desert Storm. David is a Desert Storm veteran. He wants us all to know he went to war with his mother when he was 21. He authored a book. Deployed with my mother. Following this time in the desert, Dave graduated from East Tennessee State University, licensed for investment sales, but realized he would rather dig a ditch. He earned his Master's of Divinity from the Mid-America Baptist Seminary. He currently lives in Rutherford County and is a franchise owner of Steak and Shake Murfreesboro. He has been married to his wife Trish for 25 years, and they have 4 children, 18 to 24. So we all please welcome Mr. David Weil to the podium.
Keynote speaker stepping forward now, David Weil, Desert Storm veteran, stepping forward. He's going to be speaking now. This is the Veterans Day tribute from the square in Murfreesboro. David Weil, as was mentioned, was born on Pearl Harbor Day. Not too long from now, by the way. He's going to be our keynote speaker this morning. He's taking off his coat. That's what you hear a few chuckles for. Standing up here in short sleeves.
Have you ever had anything in life not go according to plan? For Anna, her dream and plan was to fall in love, get married, and have children. Then she met Simone Borisowicz, fell in love, got married, and then on April 2nd, 1942, she gave birth to her child, Sylvan Borisowicz. She looked into his eyes and fell in love. Her dream and her plan was coming true until her child was ripped from her arms. She was forced on a train, and she rode that train straight to Poland, straight to Auschwitz, straight to the concentration camp. She was forced off that train not knowing what she was about to endure. She was forced to walk under that cruel and ironic sign that said, "Work will make you free." She never saw her husband again. A few years ago, I went to Poland I went to Auschwitz. I went to the concentration camp. And the reason I went there is because I wanted to walk where my grandmother walked. I'm not wearing my jacket today. In a small, tangible way, I want to experience the bitterness of the cold that my grandmother faced every day. The bitterness of those who held her in captivity. I wanted to put myself in my grandmother's shoes. But I can't even really do that because she probably didn't have any. In a few minutes, I'm going to put my jacket back on. But my grandmother did not have that hope. Can you imagine day after day, month after month, not having any hope? 24/7, not having adequate clothes. Fast forward, a man from the United States named David Weil showed compassion and kindness and adopted my dad from the Jewish orphanage. He gave him hope. He brought him over to the United States, gave him a new name, David Weil Jr. Fast forward, my mom and dad are married, and the joy of seeing my dad on my birthday, December 7th, was short-lived. Celebrations for my birthday then were just me, my mom, and my sister. My mom's only source of income, she was a maid to meet our physical needs. And just like someone showed my dad compassion and kindness, people in the community are now showing compassion and kindness on my family to help us meet our physical needs. My mom knew in supporting 2 kids, something had to change. So she, with grit and determination, she put herself through nursing school. And I share my family background with you because I feel like God used that in my life to help me show, to give me a heart of compassion and kindness for other people. Fast forward, a recruiter calls me up, summer of 1988, and he says, "Hey, do you want to join the Army?" I was like, "No." It was never my plan or dream to join the military. And then he said this, "It will help pay for college." That struck a chord with me because I didn't have any money. I thought about it for a few minutes and I said, "Sign me up." Fast forward, I'm in Fort Bliss, Texas, basic training. When I was there early on, we had to get in this line, long line. You don't have a choice. And it finds out they're going to test our vision. And I'm like, what a waste of time. I can see just fine. Got through the line, no problem. About a week later, I got a package on the bunk. I opened it up. Guess what it was? It was a pair of glasses. I thought, wow, the military made a mistake. I put them on, and I saw things I'd never seen before. In that moment, I realized I was missing out on things, and I didn't even know it. If you can't see, you have challenges. But what's worse is thinking you can see, but you really can't. One of my goals today is to help you see others in a different perspective. I came back from basic training. I said, "Hey, Mom, they got a special boot camp for you old people." She was 40. I was 20. Now that I'm 55, my perspective's changed just a little bit. Then something happened. 35 years ago, our unit got activated. I was in the MASH unit, 912th MASH, Mobile Army Surgical Hospital. Me and my mom went to war together. And people find this out and they say a lot of times, "Wow, that must have been neat." I look at them like they're crazy. Can you imagine, sir, going to war with your mom? No, I didn't think this through. Before deploying to the Middle East, we're at Fort Bragg. My birthday's rapidly approaching, December 7th. My mom can't be there. She's off on some other training. So she makes the first sergeant promise to sing me happy birthday for my 21st birthday. December 7th, morning formation. We're preparing to go to war, preparing to possibly die for our country. And they sing happy birthday to me. I knew my mom loved me. She was my biggest cheerleader. And there's two types of people you should always have in your life. Who is it that's cheering you on during difficult times? But then also, who is it in your life that you're cheering on? You should always have someone in your life that you're cheering on. I heard this nugget a couple weeks ago. If you're going through a difficult time, one of the best things you can do is to find someone else to help. Someone else to cheer on. I feel like what I went through in Desert Storm, it pales in comparison to what other people have gone through Vietnam, World War II, Korean War, even the current situation. However, during that time, God taught me what it means to serve your country and to serve other people. I did write a book. It took me 30 years, but I wrote a book called Deployed with My Mother. Now, when I first wrote it, my dream, I was like, man, I want to sell 1 million copies. But my plan has changed. In the book, there's a story of forgiveness. And my prayer is that God would use that to help someone else who's struggling in the area of bitterness or unforgiveness. Fast forward, I want to be in full-time ministry. I want to serve other people. Graduated seminary, and now I own a Steak and Shake. This was not my plan. I'm like, God, this does not make sense. Have you ever had anything in your life that doesn't make sense? God gave me a verse. It's my favorite verse in the Bible. Proverbs 19:21. Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it's the Lord's purpose that prevails. Just like it wasn't my plan, it wasn't Anna's plan to go through what she went through. But I can use her story, my grandmother's story, to inspire others to show compassion and kindness. The Army gave me a pair of physical glasses so I can see. God gave me a pair of spiritual glasses so I can see others. Colossians 3:12 says this. Therefore, as God's chosen people, clothe yourself with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience, and forgiveness. And take all those things and wrap them up in love. One of my employees at Steak and Shake, Michael, I have his permission to share this story. He's homeless. And I come to find out, Michael is eating steak dinners about every night. I said, Michael, what are you doing? You're eating steak dinners every night and you're homeless. And Michael said, I like to eat. I said, you're crazy. You're homeless. You should be saving your money. I gave Michael an opportunity. I said, Michael, give me 100% control of your finances and I will make things happen. He said, no. Michael's living in my electrical closet at Steak and Shake. I said, Michael, and he's happy. I said, Michael, you cannot stay in my electrical closet forever. He said, fine. Next payday, I'll go get a motel. I said, Michael, you're crazy. You will never get ahead financially living in a motel. I made this offer again. Michael, give me 100% control of your finances and I will make things happen. He said, okay. That week, I bought him a car. You drive by Steak and Shake, you see that green Honda Element? That's Michael's car. Pray for Michael. Now we're looking for a place for him to lay his head. Just a few weeks ago, he did pay off that car. Michael is just a small representation of those in the community who are struggling with homelessness, struggle with finding food, shelter. Maybe they don't have a jacket. There's people in our community who are struggling. There are families of veterans who have lost their lives to suicide. They're all around us. To those in the military, thank you for your service. For those that didn't serve, you can still serve your country by looking around and serving others with compassion and kindness. God bless the United States of America.
Moving story there. Keynote speaker, Dave Wild, who served during Desert Storm.
Thank you for those inspiring words for all of us today. Even though we're honoring veterans today that are still with us, we have for many years in the tradition of this memorial service honored those who have given all in the service of our nation. You may be aware that there is a memorial monument that was erected on this corner in 1948 by the Veterans of Foreign Wars to remember the men and women of Rutherford County who served overseas in World War I, World War II, and since that time the pillars for Korea, Vietnam, and Iraqi freedom have also been added. Those names are inscribed upon the monument's face and will be read today by the cadets of the Murfreesboro Civil Air Patrol Air Force Auxiliary.
Now the cadets from the Murfreesboro Composite Squadron step forward. They're going to read the names of those who've made the ultimate sacrifice from Rutherford County. You can see those names inscribed on the monument, and that's located on the southeast side of the courthouse square.
Let's start with World War I. Earl E. Ankin, Arthur N. Barron, Cherry N. Burnett, William H. Batskin, Charles E. Bell, Charles D. Brown, Fred H. Brown, Robert S. Brown, Sid H. Brown, Porter E. Compton, Huffman Davis, Jesse Dree, D. F. Donnell, John W. Dry, Chester F. Elron, Robert Fleming, Walter Hall, James G. Hollow, Thomas E. Hollyburton, Ben Helton, George D. Hightower, Robert M. Halden, Hudson Hover, Porter H. Houston, David S. Hunter, Charles E. Clinton, Edgar Mauss, William McRae, Charles Melton, Neil Mitchell, George L. Moore, Flinking Murphy, James E. Overall, Thomas A. Patterson, Iron B. Phillip, Alfred Poff, Quiller Richardson, Sam B. Smith, Willie Smith Taylor, Whamman Taylor, Edwin Witherspoon, John W. Woodward. Starting World War II, Caleb Adcock, Sam G. Anderson, James Arnold, Egbert O. Baker, Ernest B. Barnes, Hudson Baskin, James P. Baskin, Thomas A. Baskin, Robert Baxter, James M. Bell, Robert H. Bentley, William R. Bradford, Claude W. Brannon, Donald B. Brashear, Fred H. Brown, Lawrence L. Bogg, Edward C. Cannon, Martin Christopher Jr., Henry M. Comer, Joe B. Cooper, Malcolm L. Cooper, Wilton Walder I. Daveport, Coy H. Dunway, Lucian E. Durham, Glenn R. Eli, Hoyt H. East, Charlie L. Fain, Gradville Fleming, Donald Francis, John D. Gamble, Aubrey Haley, Jean Hale, Winford E. Hale, John B. Hand, William F. Harprell, Preston Harris, Thomas C. Harrod, John H. Hicks, Samuel S. Hill, David M. Holden, Joe H. Howes, John B. Hunter, Willis W. Jernan, Alfred H. Jones, Robert T. Pepp, Robert N. King, Norman W. Lair, Cliff Lewis.
Morton Lives, George E. Loki, Frank B. Lawrence, James K. Lowy, William H. Maynard, Harold J. Mankind, William H. Martin, Captain H. McKnight, Franklin W. Medlock, Franklin E. Merritt, Leonard D. Moore, Orby H. Moore, Vernon E. Moore, William Neely III, Sam T. Nisbet, Edward H. Newsom, William M. Nickens, Carolyn Norman, Elwood Palmer, William B. Parker, Morgan A. Payne, Sam W. Pebbles, Leonard Krosnick, Herbert Reed, John W. Reeves, Jr., Howard Rogers, Joseph M. Ross, Robert J. Sarvis, Ernest H. Salles, Jerry B. Scruggs, Jr., Edward S. Stewart, Benjamin T. Thompson, Robert K. Smith, John H. Smith, Roger E. Smith, Frederick M. Smotherman, Charles C. Sneed, Raymond Stacy, Thomas N. Stanford, Kenneth Stewart Jr., Erascan Stroop, James D. Taylor, Robert H. Thomas, David W. Thompson Jr., Ali C. Towns Jr., Ben H. Travis, Chester P. Bow, Leonard H. White, Harry L. Wilkinson, William W. Wilson, Columbus P. Weeks. Deaths from the Korean conflict: Wayne F. Black, Ethel B. Haynes, Andy C. Johnson, William A. Kelly, George E. Lester, Leland M. Pate, Horta R. Taylor, Paul D. Rather, Ray T. Hughes. Deaths from the Vietnam conflict: Sammy E. Alexander, Mark Albert Dobson, Jr., Robert R. Boyd, George W. Burkhart, Thomas M. Dillard, Herman D. Duncan, Larry Don Earls, Ronald John Inslee Jr., Joe Raymond Cole Jr., Robert Oliver Grant, Wilbur Leon Green, James Timothy Lucinski, Billy Lee Miller, Fred Evans Michael III, Terry D. Moore, William Brandon O'Keefe, George D. Osborne, William G. Phillips, Richard Edward Wade, Eugene Merle Woodson. Deaths from Iraqi freedom: A.F. Hahn II, J.D. Hurlston, Taman N. Mitchell III, Corey Cowell, Russell S. Hercules. That's all.
Thank you, cadets. At this time, stand as a bugle player will be placed on the front side of the monument by members of the Stones Rivers Sons of the American Revolution Color Guard.
And that concludes our broadcast this morning of the 39th Annual Tribute to Veterans on the Murfreesboro Square. Special thank you to Barbara Smith-Pitto for coordinating this event, as she has for the past several years. At this time, the placing of a wreath is being done by the sons and daughters of the American Revolution. They're moving forward to place that wreath right on the monument that's located on the southeast square of the Murfreesboro Courthouse. WGNS is once again proud to have broadcast these Veterans Day tributes from the square. This is our 39th broadcast. We thank you for joining us and encourage you to support our veterans as they continue to fight for freedom in America and elsewhere. Thank you for joining us.
All right, thank you. You guys may be seated for closing remarks by this year's organizer, Ms. Bard.
Thank you so much. Every single one of you that has participated today, I'm thankful. And for MTSU student Max, who's out at the table with the Democracy Project, she can help sign up folks that have not signed up, registered to vote. If you'd like to register, that's what her table is. The DAR table has goodie bags for the veterans. And thank you to the Rolling Thunder, the SAR, the DAR, the AMVETS, David Weil. Oh my goodness. Is there anybody first time to this event that has never been here before? I thought so. Lots of new faces. I'm so thankful that you were here. I have a guest book that's been going around. It's the first time we've ever had it, but if you would be willing to sign your name, it just gives me a chance to enjoy, here it is at the front, just to enjoy seeing from year to year who has been able to be here. We have a front row seat that's empty. Our World War II veterans have not been able to make it this year, and I got a call. It's just so cold. But thank you. I think some of you served when it's colder than this. My goodness, some of you've hunted when it's colder than this. Okay, so now I have a gentleman who is a songwriter, Vietnam veteran. I don't know that you can hear every word, but it reminds me of why I ask you every year, thank you for wearing the insignia, the cap, or whatever you wear so that people can see. I love it that my granddaughters can come up and thank you. So we're going to listen to the words, The Well-Worn Hats by Michael Scanlon. I may read you the lyrics. He donned a well-worn baseball cap that meant a lot to me. It showed where and when he served with the 1st Cavalry. I walked up with an outstretched hand as we took in each other. I looked him in the eye and said, "Welcome home, my friend." His body stiffened, and then he slumped, and then grabbed my hand. As tears began to fill his eyes, I tried to help him stand. Long-drawn words in a southern drawl were whispered quietly as tears rolled down the cheeks. He said, "No one said that to me." We talked for just a little while, then each went our own way. But his sad words and reactions still haunt me to this day. A little country rhythm here. We sent nearly 3 million troops. 58,000 died. 160,000 wounded. Walking wounded still wear scars. And still have not received the acclaim, though it's been 50 years. So, if you see a well-worn hat upon a veteran's head, just take a minute to thank him. You'll both be glad you did. I do thank you for wearing those well-worn hats today. And those without a hat, go find you one so I can see you in public. And I'll see you around the square, see you around Murfreesboro. I love every one of you that came. You just got to know from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for your service, the families that represent, and everybody up here has been a volunteer. So thank them too. Have a great day. Thank you, WGNS, for having us today. I'm sorry I didn't say hello to the live stream audience.